Welcome back to the Vanagon Subaru Swap Day 2. This is a bracket from a 2004 Forester. This is a bracket from a 1992 Subaru Legacy. Wow. That's hilarious. They're the same. Everybody, even the guys that, actually it might locate it further forward, but sure as hell doesn't look like it. I mean, it looks fucking identical. So if I put this the correct way. Okay, it's slightly different, ever so slightly. Look, there's your difference. It's about, what, a half inch, quarter an inch? Yeah, something like that?
About nothing.
Alright, well anyway, so here's the shenanigans I was going through. I tried to bolt these mounts up to, okay, so these were the original ones from the engine. I tried to put it on the crossmember. Crossmember did not fit. It was close. I probably could have forced it, I'll be honest with you, but that's not something I was comfortable with doing. So then I started looking into what mounts to use, and as it turns out, you need mounts from a 90 to 94 Subaru Legacy, supposedly. Now I went and bought brand new mounts. Now the brand new mounts, stand by, literally every aftermarket parts retailer says is a mount for a 90 to 94 Subaru Legacy. Now, as I'm sure that you can tell, YouTube, there is in no way any similarities whatsoever between these two mounts. Not only are they not the same shape, they're not the same amount of holes, they're not the same offset, and they're not the same design, literally at all. So don't try to install these on your car. Long story short, I have been getting my brain melted from running all over the city trying to find these dumb freaking mounts. And as it turns out, all I needed really was the brackets, and I can use, I would assume, because these look identical. Wait, no, hold on. Here we go. So, same here. Ah, this one has a locating pen. Okay, well it appears that the only difference at all between a 2004 Forester mount and a 92 Legacy mount is literally just this locating pin right there. So anyway, that's been my day. So I'm gonna go get another brand new set of these so I don't have to put these crusty ones on, probably clean these up, paint them, bolt them to the engine, and then engine is going in the Volkswagen. And yeah, then we can press forward, onwards, forwards. Cool, let's do it. I found it, the bane of my existence. It has been solved. There it is, out with the old garbage, on with the new. Now theoretically, this should solve all of our problems. If you would like to do this swap, here's a part number, 9024 Duralast, and that will get you the mounts you need, and they are the same, so don't worry about left and right. Or at least according to the part numbers, they're the same. On the Legacy, they're the same. If this works, theoretically the engine will be in today, and maybe wired, and maybe turn over.
Jeez.
Well, the guy who built the harness actually did a really good job with it, I would say. He labeled everything with us with a P-touch, which is cool.
Yeah, that was nice.
Very nice of him. This is very disconcerting. If this lift fails, I am fucking dead.
Nah, man, you'll just be slightly injured.
Nah, yeah. Just a crushed skull, no big deal.
Nah, you move your head enough time, you'll just lose the arm.
Yeah. No big deal, don't need that.
No.
So far, so good. Stay with me.
Do you have mounts?
Don't you die on me. Yep. Holes line up, bolts go in. Looks like we got some engine mounts.
Hell yeah, brother.
So I'm gonna leave these a little loose for now, just kind of finger tight. And then we'll put the bar on, the mustache bar, and then basically what's gonna happen is we'll lift the van up, lift the engine up to meet the frame rails, and then there are 4 holes we have to drill in the existing frame rails because the original engine, which is not as heavy or as powerful, only used 4 total mounting holes. This uses 8 total mounting holes. So we're gonna do a little. So the front 2 mounts on this, basically, as it were, are the original ones, and then the back 2 will basically mark with all of the bolts in, holding the engine, and then drop it back down, drill it, and then I think we're gonna do a sandwich plate on the other side to make it stronger. Or at least I'm going to, because, you know, do things right. I'm gonna do a shout out because he'll appreciate it. The Big Mac 1. Anyway, he works at a Westy place, I guess. Let's see, Wagon Works in San Rafael, California. He offered to do parts and stuff for us, which is dope. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I sent you a message with some parts that I need. I'm not gonna lie. I think we're gonna need a few things from you, buddy. So that'll be cool if you can come through.
Look at that. Parts that fit.
I like parts that fit.
It's nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah. So as you can see, the engine now has a mustache.
It does have a mustache. I don't know if that's the official term for it, but that's what I'm calling it.
I think it fits.
That's what the Datsun people call it.
It's a kit.
Cool. And so, yeah. So it's a bar. It's a bar. It's a working bar.
Yeah.
Cool, man. This is a girthy girl.
Yeah, they are.
She's got very big hips.
Yep. And they don't lie.
They do not.
Those hips right now are saying to me, ringland failure.
Okay, so the engine, I believe, is ready to be test fit. So I got it all corrected, so now that this is not being all bound up, we're gonna plop it up there, get all the bolt holes to line up, mark the new holes, re-drill the rear one that got buggered up by this rear impact. And I think, yep, this one's gonna need it too. So we're gonna drill a total of 6 new holes. The trans should still bolt right up. Everything else is pretty much there. Here's the wheel. Well, let's see what happens. Fuck it.
You want to slow down a smidge? Jesus.
I was watching. I know this lift is a nervous maker.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if we can collapse these CVs to clear the trans. All right. Probably what I'm gonna do, rather than have it this high, drop it down, drop the car down, and then raise this slowly so we can do it nice and careful.
So the plate works. We established that.
Yes. How does the dangle of my angle look?
As long as
I can tell you it needs to come back more, that's for sure.
As long as the axle on the other side's good, it should be ready to just be pushed back, I think.
Because this transmission needs to be about... Alright, I'm going to hold this here like lengthwise. Can you guys get that lined up?
Yeah.
It looks like it needs to be like, yeah, that looks money right there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It doesn't line up perfectly with me, but that's...
I think as it comes down, it'll fit.
Close.
It's rounded, it'll be nice.
And the only reason that I can't do it is because this trailing arm is hitting, but once we get it all the way up, I think it should be fine.
Yeah.
Because this exhaust will clear the trailing arm. So we got 2 out of 4 bolts lined up. So I think we're gonna bolt these up and we're gonna get this as straight as we can possibly get it, as like the engine wants to be. And then we'll drill the secondary holes, tertiary holes, and quadriary holes, whatever. Anyway, you get the idea. Putting bolts in, drilling holes, mounting engine, and then maybe not, it might be in its final resting place. I'm not sure if I want to take it out again or not. We'll see. So get the bolts in, see where we're at. Whoops. I know how to wrench, I swear.
You mean this isn't your first time?
Ken has a wrench. I mean, pretty much. Whew. Okay, there's one. Okay, moment of truth, testing the strength of 4 bolts. I had faith all along.
There is strong.
Very strong. Okie dokie. So we got all of the subframe bolts in, as you can see. I went and got brand new hardware. Now it's all shiny and fresh and fancy. We have all 8 bolts in, sandwiched with fender washers, so much strong, yes. I actually, in the meantime, because I was just in the zone here, I hooked up the shift linkage, so that's all hooked up. I've got the slave hooked up. I think we're probably going to rebuild the CVA axles. I need to reach out to Richard to see if he wants to, but these things are pretty crusty. So we'll probably do that before I hook these up, and I would love to pull these out in the meantime because I keep sticking my hair in them. It's pretty rad. Yeah, so my hair's black now. But what I'm working on right now is the cooling system. So basically, here's the deal. So these two hoses right here are the heater core hoses. They need to mate up with the hoses from the Subaru, which are right here, if you can tell. So what we're gonna do, I did it to one of them already. There was a little bit of an interference fit with the radiator pipes. These go up to the front of the car for the radiator. This pipe right here, like I said, from the heater core, so we bent it down and inwards. So we're going to basically trim this. I'm actually, honestly, going to look for a better solution because I'm not a huge fan of how this hose fits on there. It's a bit of a loose fit. Anytime you're doing connections like this, you want them to be nice and tight. That is not the case with this hose. It's also a 40-year-old hose, so let's be honest, not the greatest thing to leave on the car. I'd like to start replacing a lot of these rubber parts, but you know, it's all a matter of time and money, I guess. But anyway, so I'm going to bend this other heater core outlet pipe in, and then we need to find a combination of the original. These are the hoses. Wow, that's interesting. Fun. Magnesium oxidation from the block on the other, but oh wow, there's like stuff in here. Anyway, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, I believe it's this hose, and it goes up and around the block and goes from our thermostat housing, which is right here, up over and to the radiator, and then we're gonna get another one, and it's gonna go up over the top of the engine and over to this guy right here. So all in all, quite frankly, this cooling system is not overly complicated. It just has a lot of weird bends in it, but luckily the Vanagon hoses, I believe, provide most of the correct bends that you need to make it work. There's also a pretty cool swap. If you guys Google Subaru swap, literally, you can just Google that and his guide will come up. But he's done videos on this. He's done guides on how to do this. We're basically just kicking a dead horse at this point. I wanted to video it for you guys so you could see it happen because I think it's cool. I think these things are super cool. So once we get all of the radiator stuff hooked up and the heater core hooked up, at that point I'm probably going to move on to wiring, either that or air conditioning. I'm not sure. I'm basically doing this by what interferes with what. So I'm basically starting at the systems that are most hard to get to and working my way to the systems that are easiest to get to. That way, you know, we kind of just work our way like a microwave, inside out. You know what I mean? So yeah, anyway, I guess it's back to the old wrenchy. I'm going to try to finagle these hoses into place and we'll see what happens. If it looks overly ugly, we may end up going and buying some more hoses and seeing what we can make work. I want this all to be like mucho reliable and look, you know, 90% factory.
Yeah.
So that's the goal. Okay, I think I'm calling it for today. As you guys know, we were having some issues with the fitment on the radiator hoses. This vehicle is kind of interesting because I believe it has 2 heater cores. It has some weird bypass valves. It's got coolant lines going all the way to the front of the vehicle and the back, and this is not a small vehicle, as you can see. So it's a bitch to bleed, it's a bitch to get heat, and it's a bitch to keep the engine warm, actually, so far as I've been reading. So, having said all of that, I don't like using those hoses that I had on there. It would work, and I could make it work, but that's more like a, you know, Will's ghetto backyard bullshit kind of swap, which I don't want to do. So, having said that, this is what we're going to do. Burley Motorsports sells these radical, cool, excellent pipes right here that route up and around and go back in. I'm assuming, judging by the pictures, that I need to cut the factory tube that goes to the radiator so that it can kind of plug in where it wants to go. So I think this is what we're going to do. It's going to be way more reliable, less likely for failure, and much better flow. Way better, just way better in every aspect. So anyway, I think that's about all we're going to be able to get done today. I appreciate you guys watching. Remember, we've got a Patreon now, and the more patrons we get, the more stupid stuff we can do, and the more Slav Garage nonsense I can do. You know what I mean? Who knows? We may even go off on a little tangent on that. We'll see. It was pretty funny. Yeah, anyway, long story short, support us via Patreon. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Later!